Welcome to Splash Games and Family Board Game Friday. Today we're going to talk about the board game convention SaltCon. Me and my cousin and a few friends of ours always go to a board game convention every year, and we've gone to Origins in Ohio and Dice Tower West in Las Vegas. One of our favorites, though, is SaltCon, which is north of Salt Lake City in Layton. And I'll tell you why we love it in a little bit. But if you've never been to a board game convention, then this will give you a little introduction to what they're like. They're all pretty similar, but some are bigger and smaller, and some have advantages and others disadvantages. But this will give you kind of an idea to what to expect at a board game convention if you're going, and especially if you're going to SaltCon, what you can look forward to. So before you go to the convention, of course, you need to register to get a badge. And they can register from $30 a day to $150 for the whole convention, or $200 for the whole convention, which is usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you'll need to get a badge. A lot of conventions sell out, so you kind of need to plan way in advance to get a badge. Make sure you get someplace to stay. We usually stay in a hotel or an Airbnb. And then there will be an event registration where you can sign up for different events. So at SaltCon, some of the vendors or people will just put a game up that they want some players to come play with them. There's also tournaments that you can sign up for. And you can pre-do all this on the website. So the SaltCon website will have events, and you can sign up for events. Sometimes they cost money, but most of the time they're free. And then when you get to the convention, you'll have a schedule of things that you're planning to do. This last time I registered, I think, for 3 games, and I always usually go to everything I register, but this time my niece was there one day and my other niece was there the other day, and I ended up being in the middle of games when my event came on, so I ended up not going. But yeah, usually it's really nice to have a few events scheduled, because then you know there's stuff that you really want to do that you're going to be able to do when you go there. Also, before the convention, there's usually a math trade and a virtual flea market. So the first thing that usually opens is the math trade. And it's online, and it's usually right at the website. And there's a lot of tutorials online how to do a math trade, so you might want to look at the tutorials. But basically what it is you put your games on the top that you want to trade. And then on the side, you put what games you are willing to trade those games for. And so everybody puts their games on, and let's say I'm trading Roll for the Galaxy. Well, I go on the math trade and see all the games I want and that I'm willing to trade Roll for the Galaxy for. So let's say that I want to get my city and I'm willing to trade for that. Then I'll mark that box. And then when the math trade closes, the magic happens, and the computer figures out all the best trades. So I might give Roll to the Galaxy to John, but I'd get my city from Ben or whatever. So it's just amazing how the computer figures it all out so that they have the most trades available. And then when you go to the convention, there's a math trade area. Everybody puts the games there, and you just go and get the games that you won in the math trade. So this convention, I had 60 games I was getting rid of. I had won a bunch of games that I didn't want. I had was kind of purging my board games, so I had 60 games I was getting rid of, and 20 of them traded in the math trade. So I was really excited because I got 20 games I really wanted. After the math trade closed, they have a virtual flea market online. This is a lot easier, because you just post your games and put how much you're willing to sell them for. Or you can just go on there and look what people are selling and hopefully get them before someone else claims them. It's super fun. It's pre-done before the convention. So that way you can know what games you're getting or selling before you go. And then you arrange to meet up with those people, or they'll say, oh, I'll leave it at the math trade area. And and yeah, Venmo them the money or give them cash when you get there. So that's the virtual online flea market. This is all done before the convention. All right, now the convention day. First day at SaltCon, let's go check it out. When you first arrive at the convention, you will check in at the registration desk and you'll get a badge. And you'll use this badge for a lot of things, so you're going to want to wear it all the time. At some conventions, they'll check your badge every time you enter the main hall. So I don't think they do that at SaltCon. It's a lot smaller, so they don't check. But you do need it to check out games. So each board game convention usually has a library, and this is the library at SaltCon. It had a pretty good selection. There was 3 or 4 games that I was wanting to try that they didn't have, but they have a bunch of games there, as you can see. They also have a hot games area with all the hot games that have just come out that everybody wants to try. So yeah, you use your badge and you can check out one game at a time. So all 3 of us or 4 of us would go in there, grab the games we want, and then we'd play the games and return them. Yeah, so it's a great place to get games, is the game library. And it's free and it's fun. And sometimes we were looking for a game and we'd have to wait for it to get back. But yeah, really fun, the game library there. They have this room called the Star Trek room. So I'm going to let him explain what that was.
This is Star Trek Frontier. We run the Artemis Spaceship Bridge Simulator program.
So
and what we do is we run it with the Star Trek mod, and so you and your crew will come and take control of a starship in the Star Trek universe, and we'll give you various scenarios and tasks to complete as a group of friends or strangers, and you'll all have fun, come together to overcome the obstacles we present to you.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Does it cost, or do you have to sign up, or how does it work?
Sign up at the the SaltCon website, excuse me, and slots are filling up pretty fast, but we do have a couple still open. So,
awesome.
Welcome to sign up for a session.
All right.
Come check it out.
Thanks.
People are welcome to come in and sit and watch or take pictures.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, definitely have a good day.
Okay, they also have like a quiet room where if you don't like the loud noise of the main game hall, you can go in the quiet room and play games, which was a lot quieter and smaller. So if you don't like loud noises and crowds like I do, you can go in there and play games. They also had a figure painting room. I didn't get a video of that, but it's basically they have a bunch of paints in there if you want to paint your figures, your minifigures. They have a role-playing room where you can go play Dungeons and Dragons or whatever role-playing games you like. One of the bigger rooms is the vendor hall. This is where all the vendors comes to sell you stuff. You can go there, you can try their games out. The kind of disappointing thing about SaltCon to me is that most of the vendors are D&D vendors, like sell dice and dice towers, which are fine. My son likes that stuff. But I come to the board game convention to play board games. And there were 2 or 3 vendors there, like Lucky Duck, and that had board games, that were selling board games. But for me, I'd rather have more board games and less D&D stuff, but I guess they get the vendors they get. But here's kind of what the vendor hall looks like. All kinds of places to buy stuff, and they also have the math trade area here. So if you've done the math trade or the virtual flea market, this is where your games will be waiting. Our favorite reason for coming to SaltCon, and why we always come back, which I don't think we normally would because it's such a small con, but there is this one room called the vendor hall. And in this room, you can just bring all your board games and put them for sale. And you put your name on there and your Venmo number, and I put my Venmo QR code on there, and you put all your games in there and people buy them, and you can go in there and just grab a game, Venmo them, and take it. And it's so amazing. People are bringing games all the time, and we just spend a lot of our time in there going through all the games and seeing what's for sale. And I put all my extra games in there and sold most of them. Some people have worried about theft, and you can just leave your games empty, I guess, and meet up with them to give them the insides. I don't know. It doesn't bother me because I don't care. I sell much more games, and if one gets taken, then oh well. Or if it's super expensive, I might do that, where I would take the insides out and say meet me for the insides. I don't know. But I just don't worry about it. I just put my games in there and hope they sell, and just buy a ton of stuff in there. I just love this room. It's worth going to the board game convention for. And then the last thing is the game hall. This is the main hall where you're going to play games. There's lots of room at SaltCon to play games. We usually get a table and just kind of camp there for the day, and they have water. They have some, I think they had a snack. Yeah, they had a snack bar there. And then if you see a sign that says teachers wanted, then you know the game. I always check for that because I love teaching games. If you know the game, you go and teach them the game. Or players wanted. If somebody wants some players to play a game with them, you can put the players sign up, or you can go play a game with someone that has players wanted. I've done that quite a bit. So yeah, this game hall is where you go to play your games, and that's where you spend probably most of your time. Well, that is SaltCon. If you have any questions about any other conventions or about SaltCon and what you need to do to prepare, just put them in the comments and I'll help you with that. And subscribe to our channels. We have board games and all kinds of other fun stuff on there. And thanks for watching about this SaltCon 2024.